Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in You.
Our region's likely to need to attract people over the next 10 or 15 years to replace the baby boom generation as they retire. Yet it may not be as easy as one might think, in large part because the populations that are available to move here are far more diverse than the population of the people who live here today. There's no better example than the communities of refugees who now live in the city of Pittsburgh and especially in the South Hills. Elizabeth Heidenreich is Family Development Specialist with the Prospect Park Family Center, part of the South Hills Interfaith Ministries. Kheir Mugwaneza is Director of Community Assistance and Refugee Resettlement for the Northern Area Multi-Service Center. And welcome. Good to have both of you here.
Thank you for having me.
So you were both on the Welcoming Pittsburgh Task Force Committee that tried to put all this effort together. I mean, you're out there on the front lines working with the refugee population here in Pittsburgh every day. First off, how many refugees are there here in Pittsburgh?
I think every year we get about 500 new refugees.
Okay.
Every year.
Every year, 500.
Every year,
okay.
Yes. But the majority, especially with the Bhutanese community, the majority of the refugees who came to Pittsburgh, they moved from other cities. So that adds up to, you know, I mean, for right now, the Bhutanese Community Association say there are about 4,000 to 5,000 Bhutanese only.
Just Bhutanese?
Just Bhutanese,
okay.
And most of them in South Hills.
And in the South Hills, that's really what's good for people who haven't been down to Prospect Park, kind of at the border between, what, Baldwin and Whitehall? There's a large community of Bhutanese and other refugees living there now.
Yes, we do have a lot of migration into Pittsburgh directly, but as Kheir said, there's a lot of second wave migration.
How does that happen? How do they find out about Pittsburgh? What brings them here?
Well, it happens because those that settled here and have their family and they have support systems, they tell their family and friends in other cities who are struggling to find jobs and struggling to find affordable living, and they tell them about Pittsburgh, and then they're coming to Pittsburgh. So
when you say 500 a year, those are the ones being sort of legally placed every year as part of a resettlement project. Then there's this secondary wave that's some
Those are not the second wave. Those are the people we go pick them up from the airport. We have the apartment ready. There are 4 resettlement agencies in Pittsburgh. In addition to Northern Area, there's Catholic Charities, JFCS, and the JAPO. So those are the 500 that are coming directly to us. But just to add to what Elizabeth said, most of the people who come here as secondary migrants, they say Pittsburgh is, the jobs are available. They may be entry-level jobs, but our clients find jobs. We have more than 90% of job rate placements, you know, mostly hotels, the casino, BNY Mellon, you know, grocery stores. So they like it here because they say it's easy and the jobs are available. They can afford living here too. The housing is affordable.
What are some of the challenges that they have?
I would say the #1 challenge is language and translation. When anyone goes to a new country and they face a foreign language, it's easier for young people to learn a foreign language than older people. You know, think about being dropped in Nepal yourself and having to get around.
Yes, at my age, sure.
But when they learn the language, often the children are learning the language faster than the adults, and children often become translators for their parents. They often have to take adult-like roles, and adults will have to let their children speak for them, and I think that's very challenging. And then even to understand day-to-day things without English being your first language is an
in
extreme
Pittsburgh,
challenge.
we're not known for a lot of bilingual signage, and it's not a community that's become that global yet. So
Exactly. And just to add a little bit to what Elizabeth said, adjusting in the new culture is the biggest challenge for most of our clients. Because even talking about electricity, you know, most of the amenities we have here, the majority of the clients never seen that. We have to teach them that. So it's just the overall how you adjust to a new culture here. Yeah, and the point you just made, even just going to the hospital, being able to know where to go because the signs are there. I think that's one of the things that from the Welcoming Pittsburgh, one of the focus area is Welcome Neighbor. I think that's part of what we're trying to fix here. People going places and feel like, I know where I'm going, even if I don't speak English. Yeah.
And a big part of welcoming Pittsburgh seems to be directed at Pittsburghers as well. Or do you think they're as open to these refugees and these new populations as we're going to have to be, given the number of people we're going to have to attract over the course of the next decade or so?
Well, I think people are naturally nervous about change and things that are different from them. So I think there's a lot of hesitation sometimes among Pittsburghers to accept and welcome new people. I know that when we did surveys for Welcoming Pittsburgh, you know, people did say, you know, Pittsburgh-born citizens are friendly and nice and helpful. But I think we can always improve on that.
Well, it's a challenge, it's an opportunity for the region. It's good that refugees and others are seeing opportunity here. There's probably a lot more to come. Congratulations on the good work at the South Hills Interfaith Ministries, Elizabeth Heidenreich and Kheir Mugwaneza of the Northern Area Multi-Service Center. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.